I have just stayed 1 month here in Phuket, and last year I also tried staying in Koh Samui. So what are the differences between these two popular Thai islands, and which one do I think is better for us digital nomads? I will go over different categories like cost of living, lifestyle, people and the vibe, beaches and nature, experiences, and everything else you need to know when you deciding which one is more optimal destination for you. And if you're coming to Southeast Asia, I would recommend checking out my new community on School called the Nomad Tribe. You can join the group calls and meetups to meet like-minded people, ask me questions, and get lots of helpful resources. But yeah, let's start with the nature and the beaches. So both are pretty similar with a lot of amazing hills and nice nature and many nice white sand beaches with blue water, like really amazing. So in this category, both of them are really good, but Phuket maybe has a little bit more of options when it comes to different beaches and different cliff areas. There's a lot. But somehow I still felt like Koh Samui was more like beautiful small island vibe. Like the nature there is somehow a bit more unique island style. Like, it's hard to explain exactly, you can see the footage, but like somehow I like that a bit more. But definitely both of them are really amazing. And the next category is roads and traffic, which is a bit of a problem sometimes in Southeast Asia, but actually both of these destinations are pretty good with that there's big roads and not too bad traffic. Like the infrastructure is quite good, so it never really gets stuck. And both of them has like really amazing roads on the cliffs, like so beautiful. So it's really nice to drive if you stay in these nice areas, but also in some other areas there's some roads that are quite busy and of course not the most beautiful in the more like city and town areas, but it's not really a problem of either of them. And the next category is cost of living, and yeah, you probably want to have a scooter in both of these places to really enjoy the freedom and the lifestyle. Both of them has good scooters. It's not hard to find a good scooter, but they can be a bit more expensive, but of course you can find something cheaper also if you don't really mind the model and the size of the scooter. And generally when it comes to the cost of living, like accommodation and food and some other things, I would say that Koh Samui seems to be kind of like 30% more affordable. So yeah, I notice now when I'm in Phuket it's definitely more expensive. It's pretty easy to find nice, like comfortable accommodation in Koh Samui, and it's not gonna break your bank. It's more like $600 to $900 per month, even during the high season. But in Phuket, it's quite hard to find anything like that. If you're lucky, you can get something okay condo building for like $900, but often they're more expensive, like 1.3 thousand USD or even more. Like it can be quite expensive here. Of course you can find cheaper places as well, but then they're just not as nice or not so good area. In Koh Samui it's definitely easier. And yeah, you can check my Southeast Asia stays. You can have my accommodation recommendations, information of the best areas, how to get the best deals, and basically all the important information you need to know when you're traveling in Southeast Asia, any of the destinations that I have shown in my channel. But yeah, overall when it comes to the cost of living, like food and everything else, basically when you're living in these places, they are not the cheapest. They're a little bit more expensive than some other areas in Thailand and especially other countries like Vietnam or Bali. Like it's a bit more expensive, so that's something to expect. Of course, with the price you can also expect maybe a little bit more modern amenities and maybe a bit better infrastructure than some places, but it's not the best ever value for money in either of these places. I would say in Phuket you would expect to pay around like $2,000 to $3,000 per month overall for like living nice lifestyle here. And for a similar lifestyle in Koh Samui, I would say it's more like 1.5 to 2.5 thousand USD per month, so a bit cheaper. So it's not like a crazy difference, but yeah, in the end of this video you will see like which one is more worth it for that money. And the next category is about working online in these destinations, co-working and like meeting like-minded people and networking. So let's start with the Wi-Fi. So basically Thailand is really good with Wi-Fi. Both of these places have good Wi-Fi and good mobile data, so it's not really a problem. But what I noticed that somehow in Phuket the Wi-Fi is just not that fast. It's definitely faster in Koh Samui most of the time. Somehow I don't actually know the reason, but that's just something I noticed. So if you like need some specifically high-speed internet, maybe Koh Samui can be a bit better with that. And for co-working spaces, both of them have good options, so yeah, there's not much difference there. Like there's really nice ones like Selina in Phuket, and there's also really nice ones in Koh Samui. And in both places you can definitely find like meet business owners and like network, but it's not as good as in Bali, for example. But I definitely have met really cool people in Koh Samui, really cool people in Phuket. So yeah, you can definitely find people when you go to the co-working spaces and the saunas and gyms and places like this where the digital nomads more hang out. I will talk next about the generally like what kind of people you can find in these places and what kind of vibe it is. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Osoom. Starting a business remotely in tax-friendly hubs like Hong Kong and Singapore has never been easier than with Osoom. These regions are not only globally recognized for their low taxes and business-friendly policies, but they also offer incredible flexibility for remote entrepreneurs like us. Let also handle your financial admin, taxes, bookkeeping, and accounting while you focus on building your business. With Osoom's easy-to-use platform, you can track your cash flow in real time, stay on top of invoices, and manage all your business finances in one place. Join over 15,000 small business owners who trust Osoom to help run their business smoothly. Click the links in the description to figure out which one of these regions are better suited for you and get 16% off any Osoom services, and you can start your business journey today. But yeah, so the people and the vibe. What's the differences? How is it in these places? I would say one big difference is that Phuket has like really strong Russian community. So yeah, it feels like there's like 90% of the people sometimes here feel like they're Russian, and like it happened many times that someone talked to me in Russian during my month here. So yeah, it's definitely pretty unique here. Like I haven't seen it like this anywhere in Thailand or Southeast Asia before. That like, yeah, for example, one time in Viewpoint for watching sunset, I was alone there and then one girl talked to me like in Russian and I was like, what? And she's like, oh, sorry, I thought everybody here Russian. But yeah, generally both of the places are quite touristy, and the vibe and the people are more like families and like older people than in some other places like Bali and Da Nang. So it's not really exactly the vibe that I enjoy the most. There are digital nomads and like younger people in both places, quite equally. Like I would say maybe a bit better in Koh Samui than in Phuket. But yeah, it feels also quite like commercial in Phuket somehow. Like I don't know, like it's just not my favorite vibe. And yeah, Koh Samui has a bit more like island vibe, like more chill, and Phuket feels more like yeah, not so much of island vibe. Like it's a bigger island also, so it's a bit different. Like yeah, somehow I do enjoy Koh Samui a bit better, of being like more chill and more digital nomads and like that kind of vibe. And when it comes to the experiences and trips you can do in these places, Phuket, I have to say, is a bit superior because of Phi Phi Islands, for example. It's amazing. Like, if you've never been there, you definitely need to go. It's extremely touristy, but it's still worth it. Like, it's still, like, one of the most beautiful places in the world. So definitely, if you've never been, I would recommend experiencing that. But of course, from Koh Samui, there's also many boat trips you can take to Koh Phangan, Koh Tao. There's different islands and places to see there also. So it's definitely not, like, a bad place itself. But Phi Phi is kind of like, it's just incredible. But the negative is the tourists and how many people there are. So if you don't enjoy that at all, or you just don't want to go to that kind of place, then yeah, maybe Koh Samui and the boat trips there can be a bit better. And generally the other experiences in these places, for example, jet skis and elephants, like it's quite similar. Like both of them have good places. Like I drove jet ski in Phuket and it was incredible experience. It was so nice to just explore and have the freedom to go anywhere I want, and like it was amazing and actually not that expensive. But similarly, you can do quite the same thing in Koh Samui also. And elephants were good experience in both places. Somehow it was maybe a bit better in Koh Samui, like more chill, less people. And I think generally that's kind of the experience that Phuket, the main tourist activities are maybe a bit more busy and more people doing them, but of course it also depends in the time of the year if you go during the high season or a little bit lower season. And the next category is the lifestyle. So I would say both of the places are pretty similar, that you can enjoy the amazing beaches and having that kind of chill lifestyle and nice gyms also, and spas, like you can really enjoy like nice sauna, ice bath places and nice massages. And of course Muay Thai, it's really popular in both of the places. The culture is big, so you can definitely train Muay Thai, watch the fights, like integrate into that culture if you want to. But I would say the difference between the two is more in this category that in Phuket you can surf. So yeah, if you enjoy surfing some periods of the year, if you are in Phuket, you can do pretty good surfing here in Kata and Naiharn area. But also a lot of the time of the year it's flat all the time and you can't really do that. So yeah, it really just depends. If you want to learn to surf, it can be pretty nice if you're in the correct time in Phuket. In Koh Samui there's not really, like, there can be some kind of surfing, but it's definitely better in Phuket. And guys, if you get value out of this video, please like the video and subscribe to not miss out all the future content. And when it comes to food, both of them have good options when it comes to Western food and local food, but not the best ever, I would say. Not my favorite places for food and can be a bit more expensive in both places, especially in Phuket. But the good thing is that in both places you can order easily on Grab or Food Panda in Koh Samui. So yeah, it's pretty good, but not the best in the world, I would say. But of course Thai food is really good and many people really love it the most. For me it's one of the favorites, and there's also food markets you can enjoy, so yeah, pretty good. But yeah, one thing that is something that I'm a bit annoyed about Koh Samui is that in the nice areas where you can stay and they have nice beaches, you can't watch the sunset. You need to drive quite far actually to be able to watch a nice sunset. And I love watching sunset. It's just good for the health and well-being, and I just really love that break in the afternoon to watch the sunset and just relax and really be in the moment in the nature. So it's unfortunate that it's not that easy to do all the time in Koh Samui. In Phuket, there's so many viewpoints in the nice areas to stay with amazing sunsets, and also you can watch it on the beach, and like, yeah, it's just really nice here. So that's a big bonus or like a plus for Phuket compared to Koh Samui. So neither of these places are in my top 3 destinations in Southeast Asia, but they can still be really amazing and like convenient place to be based at, because they both have airports and good visa options. So it's not like a bad place to live long term. But for me, Phuket is nice for a month if you've never been here, to experience a lot and see a lot of the things here. But it's not really a place I would come often or stay actually long term. But some people do really enjoy it and stay here long term. Koh Samui is really nice for a week, 2 weeks, month, even long term. But somehow I still also like Koh Phangan better than Koh Samui. So if I'm just going for like a month or 2, I'd rather stay in Koh Phangan probably than Koh Samui. But Koh Phangan can be not so optimal for long term because yeah, no airport and no ordering food so easily with the local app they have, but it's not so convenient. And yeah, there's just a couple of things in Koh Phangan that are not as convenient as in Koh Samui. So in that way, for long term base, if you want to be in Thailand, I would probably choose Koh Samui. But I would be annoyed with the sunsets. So yeah, I hope to see you inside the Nomad Tribe. Like and subscribe, and see you next week.